Pretty certain the ice is in good shape. Should be at least 6 inches, but just gonna err on the side of caution. Check it out. Oh yeah, yeah, perfect. Probably 6 or 7 inches.
I'm unarmed! That's a nice one.
That is a sword. That's pretty sweet.
That's a weapon.
I just need like a, what do you call it, a handle?
A handle.
That would be amazing. If we could drill a hole in there and then screw in a handle. Should I smash it?
Yeah, you should.
You have some skill with the blade. It can be reforged.
I was thinking, I wonder, like, even if we could get in here, but I don't know, it's pretty stumpy.
It's a little tight, uneven.
Yeah.
Today we're just setting up to come back in a few days, and then we're going to stay for a longer amount of time. We're just doing a lot of the setup work as like a gift to ourselves in the future. It'll be so nice to come here and have the whole thing set up, bunch of firewood split, especially if it's bitter cold when we do show up.
Yeah.
That'll be super nice. So
It'll be nice. We'll have the tent already brought in.
Yep.
Less stuff to haul in when we come. And the crow underneath, I guess.
perfect. Alright, send her down. This is a dead tree, it's fallen over. Oh, there's a little vole running through the trees there.
Is there?
There's no point in trying to film it, it's gone. I couldn't film it anyway. Yeah, you can't cut down green trees, nor would they burn as well. So Aaron's found this perfect fallen dead tree that's hanging up, so it's not getting all rotty and wet. It's just hanging there to dry like it's being seasoned for us, which is nice. And it's a pretty tall one, so get a lot of wood out of this.
Yep. There it is.
Lovely.
Beauty! Look at that. A little bit of fat wood in there.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll come back for this too.
Oh yeah.
Why not? Oh, what a day.
From that, it's pretty exciting. It's nice to find like a nice size one that's hanging and not rotting.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay, when this happens.
Oh, careful, careful. Here, I'll lift it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we have our birch bark for the year sorted out. I'm just going to dig out where the stove's going to go, because the stove over time is going to melt down, so just avoid that by getting rid of the snow and piling it onto our sleeping area where we can level it out and have a nice level sleeping platform that's also a little elevated, where it's surprising with the stove how much of a difference in temperature you can get right on the ground versus just being several inches above the ground. And snow is a good insulator, of course, so that'll help a little too, make it a little more comfortable. So the corners we actually staked into the ground and made pointed stakes to drive in, but the other ones we could have done this all the way around, but it's easier out here where there's more snow. It tends to get stomped down around the tent. These ones we're just going to bury, and then we'll smush the snow so it sinters. And when it sinters, all little snow crystals, they kind of melt together and form something very strong, similar to the way when a plow sponges up the snow, it can get really rock hard, or when you form a snowball. Same process, sintering. And even right now, with no time to sinter properly, it's holding a good amount of tension here. Don't.
Go through. One split.
Alright. Just trying to bury the corners and the sides as much as I can. It makes a massive difference for keeping your heat in. If you have lots of draft underneath the edges, then you're really going to feel that. So there should be a lot more snow by the time we come back here, but might as well get going and get it piled up a little bit. The natural snow might do the rest of the job for us, actually.
Ready?
Yep. Good amount of weight in there.
You bet.
Are we gonna dump truck it?
Oh, no, let's upload it.
Got a combination of ketchup and mustard here. Ketchturd?
No.
Or must up?
No.
It's 3 o'clock and we forgot to stop and make lunch. We just kept working, so this is gonna go down really good.
It's hitting the spot.
Mm-hmm. Order up. All right, we've done all the chores basically, and it's so exciting now to think that we get to come back to this little paradise, be covered in snow, and just enjoy it. Hardly do any work, just keep up our firewood supply. It's gonna be sweet. That should do us for a couple of days.
Hopefully. We are packing up for the day. We've got a good supply of wood and all set up here. And we'll be back in a couple days and to spend several days here. We're looking forward to it. Nice camp set up. Little fire pit over there.
Well, the tent's still standing, but it's definitely shifted around a little bit. It's kind of swallowed in on itself. Maybe if we knock the snow off, it'll bounce back. But it looks like it'll need a little work.
Hello, pretty.
Yeah. Smells like wood in here. Oh, that's better. Okay, that's already better. There's a lot of snow weight on it, and we got another snowstorm coming tonight, so. Alright, just digging out here. We had an open fire pit here, which we'll need for steak later. She's being dug out. We got a lot of snow. Look at this. Mind you, this is a big drift, but still, it's 2 feet of snow here on top of our fire pit. There it is.
I was gonna go in first, but I thought that'd be a disaster.
Good self-preservation. That's what we're gonna need
rare.
for our longest winter trip ever.
Yeah.
We were given this little shovel, which is absolutely perfect. Usually these telescopic shovels are junk and the little holders don't stay in position, but this one is solid. It's really perfect, lightweight. Thanks, John. There's the fan. It's going to blow the heat around the tent nicely. Picks up pretty fast. Only took a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Ice is pretty deep now. It's close to 2 feet. Getting our water for the night here. I just bring in a 4-liter jug from a grocery store, which I reuse. They last forever. And the water here in this lake is very clean, very deep lake. Now I'm going to bury it in snow. It'll keep it from freezing for a lot longer. So somehow a fair bit of frost or moisture gathered inside the tent, so like it's enough that, I don't know if you see that, but water's dripping off my hand. So we brought a rag. We're gonna wipe it up so it's not dripping all over our stuff. We're not setting up our sleeping bags so they don't get damp. But then I'll just hang the rag here to dry overnight, and that's the beauty of the hot tent, right?
Always chores to do.
You see all this?
Yeah.
Wet.
Yep, 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 yep.
Here's just making lots of nice fine splits for us to get fires started while we're out here. We've got the fan blowing air around. Pipe damper is wide open right now, still getting going. We've got this aluminum tray here from a pizza that we bought at a grocery store, just reflecting heat back so it's not melting down into the snow. That's a carbon monoxide alarm. The odds are extremely low, but you will never know if it's happening, so it's just good peace of mind. And then Aaron built this little log cabin here to elevate the stove a bit. So one thing we wish we had got was the extension legs for the G stove, because it's so low to the ground. You pretty much have to lie down to feed it. So this will keep it up, and it seems to be quite solid and stable. So yeah, got some water boiling. It's gonna be a fantastic week here. Getting a little fire going out here to cook up a steak and create a little wind block with the snow here because it's pretty windy today. Killing a bit of time in here, just waiting for the fire to burn down the coals. Eggnog time. It's best if you drink it like Gatorade.
You got a little
like
bit
you're
on
the
your
bench.
A little bit on your beard.
Oh yeah, saving it.
It's way down there.
And yeah, we got steak.
Woohoo!
We're sharing one steak, 30% off, of course. It's the only time I buy steak. And these German potatoes, sliced potatoes that we'll do in the pan.
Fire's crackling. Yeah. Eggnog's cold. Life's good.
It's only 3:30 in the afternoon, but so it's pretty early for a bevy. But we figured we're probably going to bed at 8, so it's really like 5:30.
Yeah.
If we were going to bed at 10 on a relative basis, you know. So.
We go to bed pretty early out here.
We don't have a problem.
You have a problem.
So I've never tried these potatoes before, but it's just potatoes, a bit of onion, oil, just fry them in the pan. Should be good. Can't go wrong.
Our pot just started boiling here. It's pot of water from the lake. So it's got a nice rolling boil, which we want it to maintain for at least 5 minutes so that we kill off any bacteria that might be living in there. And then it's good for drinking water.
Okay, these are all done. It's time for the steak. Do that steak right on the coals. Honestly, I thought that was a gimmick, steak on the coals, but it actually does a really good job. I'm gonna eat this in courses to keep it warm. Good. Kind of like chips. Good.
It's crispy on the outside, but still nice and soft on the inside.
Using our cooler as a table to play some crib, which Aaron just taught me. I never bring a cooler out here, but we have eggs, and they're gonna freeze if I don't have it to insulate it. It's actually warming the eggs in the cooler, so.
Low card deals first.
Yep. Oh,
Daisies. Okay, no, beneath it.
Oh, you got 3 beneath it. Okay. Alright, getting settled in for the night at 6:45 at night. I'm pretty tired from hauling in, and it's just dark and eager to catch up on sleep. The wind is gusting out there. It's pretty warm. It's only -5 or 6 or something. And that warm air usually blows in precipitation up here, which is true again tonight. It's supposed to be a pretty good snowstorm starting in the middle of the night going into the morning, so that would be fun to wake up to.
spoil me, you know?
It's a bit of onion, red pepper, and mushroom in the eggs, just a little.
Perfect.
So with any luck, yesterday's drinking water hole won't be frozen over. Yep, still nice and just slushy. I drilled out an extra big hole here for pulling water, so it's nice just to not have to do that every time. I'll cover it back up now, come back to this later. We have plenty of water in the hot tent now in the reservoir, but I just want to keep up our supply. It's kind of a bother when you need water and you don't have it. Woohoo! We only got about a centimeter of snow last night. We were expecting closer to 8 or 10. But it's supposed to come today now, so we'll have a nice snowy day. We took the elbow out of the stovepipe. It seemed to be really inhibiting getting the stove lit. And it did make it easier, but stove's not exactly rocking. So we're still going through the learning curve with the G stove, but hopefully we'll get there. Yeah, we're having some trouble with the G stove. We're using like the finest softwood splits, healthy amount of birch bark, and for some reason it's just not rocking. There's just no explanation for it, unless the wood that we cut wasn't as dry as we thought, but it's sure split like it was dry. Sounds dry.
Feels dry.
Yeah, it's a nice piece.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
You got a big one.
Not light.
I'm cutting these into splitting sizes while it's attached. That way it's stable and holds it for me. It's pretty convenient. We'll bring the sled and pull them back to camp for chopping.
Erin and I were just wondering this. This is the first tree we cut, this is the second one. Watch when I put the hatchet into this one. It doesn't sink in. So, that leads me to believe that this one might not have dried properly yet. Compared to this one, goes right in. And the reason I think that, because if the water didn't come out of this tree, then it would be like ice, right? This one is completely dry, like the hatchet goes into it so easily. So we're wondering if this tree was fallen, but maybe it fell late in the season, only weeks or months ago maybe, and didn't actually dry out, and now it's frozen with all that liquid in it. Curious what your thoughts are. Oh, and some people will put their lips up to wood, but to see how wet or dry it is. But I don't find that works in the winter because your hands and lips are warm, and as soon as you touch something cold, there's condensation there, so there's really no way of telling like if that's wet or dry, or if it's just the condensation on my lips. So I find that's more of a summer technique. Okay, so we got some new wood. We're gonna have to get a lot more, but we're hoping that that was the problem and what with the G stove and why we were struggling to get a burn. Was that all that wood we processed when we first came in here, maybe it wasn't as dry as we thought. So this is our only possible explanation right now, so we're gonna try it. Oh, yeah, she's ready to go.
There it goes. But it didn't timber.
Yeah. Come on, you!
There it is.
Okay. Thank you. So we're kind of back to square one here with our firewood prep, doing it all again today, all that work we did on the first day. Hopefully we can still use that other wood and just maybe mix it up with hopefully this drier wood. But we have lots of other plans for this trip. We want to fish and explore another lake, maybe build a Quincy chaga hunt. Like, there's a lot we want to do, but today's kind of getting killed by firewood prep round 2. You hungry?
Yeah.
Almost ready.
Ready?
Almost.
Okay.
Oh,
Hi.
red squirrel. Hey, buddy.
You coming looking for some crumbs? Here's a button.
We brought in a few chunks of chaga from home. Got a good stash there. And we're just going to start brewing up some chaga tea. Chaga is a mushroom that grows on birch trees. And while we go process some more firewood, we'll just start brewing this. Okay. With any luck, that'll be the end of the heavy duty sawing on this trip. That's the rest of it. Normally I'd have my merino wool layer, fleece jacket, and then this wool coat, followed by a shell like this. We have these Wildlands ones, and I accidentally brought Aaron's for me. So it's a medium woman's and I'm an extra large men's, so I literally can't get it on. So I'm gonna wear Aaron's second jacket as a bit of a shell. I'm gonna go for a walk here and go to the cliffs. Awesome cliffs. I want to go right up to them, but it's actually quite slushy here. And we definitely don't want to get our boots soaked. The lake is very inconsistent. Some areas have deep ice, some have no snow, some have deep snow, some have slushy snow. Okay, we've just done our firewood prep. And we've got some lovely chaga brewed up for us. What you got it going?
Getting there.
Any difference so far? Nothing noticeable?
Yeah, like it seems to be taking better.
Interesting.
It's not hot yet, but...
Yeah. Okay. Tomorrow, I don't want to process any wood. And get it all done today. Okay, we're finally settling in. Done our work for the day. Got quite a lot of firewood. And it's quite a mess in here. Everything's sprawled out. Such a pigsty in here.
It is a pigsty.
Not Instagram worthy. It's chaga time. We're doing it hot toddy style with some maple Crown Royale. Alright. Plop that in there. Oh, and we have the honey sticks.
Ooh.
So we've got these honey sticks. It's just like a tube of honey from Aaron's family friend Barry.
He's my cousin.
Cousin, right. Who has a, what do you call it? Beehive
He's a
factory. he's a bee man.
He's a beekeeper.
He's the one who gave us that beeswax candle last night, and a bunch of other things like beeswax eye cream, and these are beeswax wraps, just offcuts, and he gave them to us as fire starter. They work quite well.
Barry's on Instagram. His Instagram is Bears, Bees, and Honey. And fun fact, local honey is supposed to help with allergies.
Interesting.
Because it's created from the pollen from local plants.
Wow, that's crazy if that's true.
If you can get locally sourced honey from wherever you are, apparently it's good for allergies. I read that once.
Very interesting. I wonder if it's true, but I could see it being true. Okay, cheers.
Cheers, hon.
Hopefully this is drinkable temperature.
It might not be. It's really hot.
It's hot, but it's good.
Yeah?
Yeah. That goes down good after a day in the cold.
Yeah, it's finally warming up in here. It took a bit for the stove to get hot enough to throw heat, but
yeah,
it's doing that
it's
now.
finally
And
there. Yeah, let's see. Where are we
really
at?
nice.
What do you think? What temperature do you think we're at? So,
18 degrees.
I'm gonna guess 16. We are at, it says 13, but there's no way. It is much hotter now.
It's much hotter where I am.
Anyway, it's pleasant finally. That new wood's burning well. This is a perfect winter drink.
I got a good hand. I just need a cut.
Oh, I could have seen it on the screen.
I know. You didn't though.
Stove's going pretty nicely now. That must have been the whole problem last night, was the fuel must have been a bit wet, because now it's going fine. We're settling into bed. It's very blustery outside, and we went out just to go pee and brush our teeth before bed, and it was a shock. It didn't feel that warm in here, but it really is a difference. So yeah, feeling really cozy. Good night. Fire's rocking, no problem with this new wood. Got this LED USB light plugged in. This is a Jackery power station. We've been charging our devices off of it, and it's still at 91%. And I also have a solar panel for it, which I'll use to juice it up probably later today or tomorrow. But yeah, it was pretty chilly in here this morning, but feeling really good now. What do we have outside this morning? Minus 11. Still quite mild. Around here it can easily get to minus 20, minus 30, so that is not bad at all. And for those of you in the US, Fahrenheit's there too. That's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep a small hatchet and chopping block in here, and then whoever is tending the fire can make some fine splits, and then keep a bucket of fine splits here just for easy fire starting. Gonna wake Aaron up with a pumpkin spice latte. We had one yesterday. It was actually pretty good. It was the first pumpkin spice latte I've ever had in my life. Getting into a pretty good rhythm here with the G stove. Finish up the eggs, throw out my spatula, disposable, and then the grate we can use to toast our English muffins on. Just had a great breakfast. It's nice and warm in here, only 12 degrees or so. We actually slowed down the stove because with all your clothes on it's just too hot, and you don't want to be stripping down your clothes and have to go outside and put them all on again, so Just a nice comfortable temperature where you can wear clothes like this. It's nice. We're feeling great. We're ready for a really exciting adventure today. Out for the daily trip to the watering hole. And it is absolutely gorgeous. What a day to be out exploring. So this was scraped down. So yeah, we got at least 2 inches of snow yesterday. And the watering hole is still wide open. Beautiful. Keep this insulated. Keep it open the whole time we're here at this rate. Not a problem. This is the beauty of the hot tent. Dry snow pants and mitts. Everything dry. So Aaron hauled the sled across the lake, and it was kind of slushy, so it was a challenge. The snow that we got yesterday is pretty dense and heavy, so we hauled the sled across, and now we're realizing getting the sled through here with this heavy snow is just going to be impossible. I was hoping we could glide the sled over. It's going to be too hard, so we're just going to hike into the lake, see what we can see, and save the fishing for our home base here. There are some big tracks. It's hard to tell because they've been snowed over, but alternating sides and a good size. So they could be moose, they could be lynx, they could be wolf. I don't know. I've actually tried getting into this lake twice before and failed. There's a creek that you have to cross at some point. There's just rugged, undulating terrain, and then lots of trees and bush. Especially if you get down into the creek, then it's really thick and bushy. So hopefully we can break through today. I just want to lay eyes on it on a map. It's one of those captivating lakes that just looks perfect. As we climb up into the hills, it seems like they got even more snow up here. It's got to be 3 inches there. This is a big part of the challenge, is there are these drops along the creek. It's more of a canyon almost. I bet in the spring it's quite a waterfall. So you run into these impasses. Can you hear that? That creek is under us, but there should be lots of ice and snow as well. And with our snowshoes, we're staying well on top of it. But it's still running under there. It's amazing. Under all this snow and all this wintry stuff, there's flowing water. What you got there?
A sweet battle axe from Bill. My dad gave it to me. Which is very unlike him. He doesn't usually like sharp things. We call him
It looks deadly.
Let's see how it works.
Let's take down this toothpick.
Sorry.
Whoa, I did not like being behind the follow through of that.
I held on real tight.
Yeah, I hope so. Shave it. You can shave with that thing.
I'm not sure its functional purpose yet, but it'll fight off the bad guys at the very least.
Something smaller here. It's just a thrill to see them all. You can picture the foxes and the lynx traipsing through these snowy woods. I think something lives in here. Big hole there. A little tunnel there. And then these slithery tunnels here over the snow. I want to say vole, but the track is too wide, unless it goes back and forth on it. Yeah, no, it might be a vole. We're well off track here. We've been forced to go east of where we wanted because it's just impenetrable balsam fir forest that way. But we finally found, we just kept taking the path of least resistance, and now we found somewhere clearer where we can cut across back to get on our bearing. Such a magical hike. Really demanding, but you got hills in the distance and some really rugged, wintry scenes too. We're almost there. This is the creek. This must be a beaver dam. Must be a big one. Oh my goodness. I've dreamt about this lake on maps for so long. Look at it. We did it!
We made it! Oh, it was a tough journey.
Oh, so glad you hung in there. Would not have been the same to see this alone.
Never is.
One of those places. So worth it. I'm so happy. It's a really steep cliff. No conifers have been able to take hold, just some shrubs and the odd birch. Imagine that birch there, hanging on for dear life. It's amazing. But so many icicles.
Oh my god, this is beautiful. I wonder when the last time someone was on this lake.
Yeah, on foot.
It's probably been a while.
Yep. Very few people would set foot on this lake ever. The idea of trying to get the sled in here with all our gear is just laughable. Now that we know how hard it was.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been possible.
No. This is really nice now. Welcome back. We know where we're going. We got a packed trail to follow. We're not making navigational decisions as to whether to try and cut through stuff like this every 60 seconds. So be a nice walk back. Aww. Oh, I wish I had my shell right now. Everything sticks to my clothes. Oh. I was recording that one.
Sled got all gummed up from coming across the slushy lake, so
yeah, that slush and ice on the bottom will kill you. It'll cause so much drag. So we've got this Jackery power station that we've been charging stuff on. Batteries get killed out here in the cold. And then this 60-watt solar panel. So right now it's low light. It's pretty much the lowest light point of the year. It's late in the day. I'm gonna see if we can get any juice out of this kind of daylight, just as like a test. I'm very curious. It's cloudy, late in the afternoon, but let's find out. Okay, it's at 91%. That's gone a long way in the hot tent with charging the stuff we have. But let's see where it gets in a couple of hours.
We're gonna get our soup started out here just because it's only about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it seems a bit early to retreat to the hot tent. The days are pretty short, so any daylight we have we kind of want to spend outside. So I'm just gonna get this going and get some stock going for our veggie soup. There's no shortage of birch bark here, so I'm not shy with it. Get the fire going nice. Oh yeah.
So nice.
Getting the champagne chilling for this evening.
And this Men Girls pressure cooker, whoa, is absolutely loaded with veggies for a huge veggie soup. I froze them in sideways. Like I let it freeze this way so that we can pour hot water down into the bottom. And that way the water will kind of boil down there rather than just burning those vegetables on the bottom. But that's a massive amount of soup once we add the stock.
Oh, that feels nice getting a big fire going.
Yeah, it does.
So much less finicky than inside the stove.
Yeah.
We're getting the hang of the stove.
Oh, I just got a whiff of the soup.
Yeah?
Even frozen, it smells phenomenal.
I'm excited for that.
So we just softened up our butter for the rolls by bobbing it in this pot of boiling water, or hot water. Now it's boiling, so we're gonna add the bouillon. And then pour so we can mix up the stock inside the pot and then pour it inside the Men Girls pressure cooker. Okay, so now Men Girls goes on there. Get this boiling water into there. Okay, the vegetable stock is mixed up and in there now. And we just plop it in there to build pressure. So it's only been about an hour and a half and it hasn't changed. It's still at 91%, but there's a little temperature symbol there. Probably means it's too cold to do anything with the limited juice that's coming in. So it's interesting. We'll have to try it in the sun. But yeah, there's like little input and output measures there too. So hopefully we get some sun to try it and see if it does much in the winter. I don't even fault the unit, like there's just no light right now. End of day, overcast.
I'm gonna clean things up in there a little bit.
Lovely.
Shovel a little bit of snow on the ground.
Sounds good. Whoa. Oh yeah. Oh man, that steam.
Yeah.
I love the Men Girls because the steam that comes out of it smells incredible. We're ready. It's game time.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh man, that smells good. It smells like stuffing.
It does smell like stuffing.
Oh. Okay. Let's do it.
Alright.
Forgot a ladle. So we're just dunking it. Dunk the bun in butter. Dunk it in the soup. And enjoy. There we go. Cheers.
Cheers, son.
Cheers. Excuse me. Eight.
27.
Go. Let's see how the stove's doing tonight. 152 on the belly. 156 on the pipe. How about the very top there? Ooh, 200 on top.
I'm gonna touch it.
Celsius too. And for all y'all Americans, we got you. About 400. Touched 400 there.
Make some good nachos there.
Yeah, that's nacho making temperatures. I love this gun. It's just fun. How about the candle? 130, 140 degrees Fahrenheit.
Let me touch it.
In there.
Ow.
Aaron's hand. 94. Back to Canada / the rest of the world. Oh, you're almost hypothermic.
Oh.
No, you have a fever.
Oh.
37 is normal. Pretty blustery night out there again, and we're kind of feeling in the swing of this hot tent life right now. Just 3 days in, we get a couple more, but it's feeling good. The canvas is just swaying around in the breeze, but we're well protected and warm in here with the stove. It's just a really good, simple feeling. Really enjoying it. That's it for us tonight. See you in the morning. Looking forward to fishing tomorrow. Have not got a line wet yet. Doing pancakes for breakfast. There's some wild blueberries in there that Erin picked this summer. And I do pancakes out here in like a peanut butter container. And then I just pour water in and then shake it up, mix it around. It's a pretty handy way to do it.
Second last morning here in the hot tent, and we've got some lovely pancakes.
Finally time for fishing. This lake has burbot and lake trout. I've got my heavy duty rod here, which I'm going to leave as a set line. You're allowed 2 lines in Ontario. And I'm going to put this nice glob of fish intestines, kind of almost rotting. And hopefully something will come by and just inhale that. The reason I'm putting the bait on this bigger rod is I think it's a better potential setup for a big fish, so I'd rather have that there, and then here I'll just be actively jigging. I'm hoping a burbot will come and snatch this. Burbot are kind of like bottom feeders, so this like rotting piece of flesh would be great for them. And then here in this hole I'll be actively jigging. I have a little rod holder for using a set line, but I forgot it, so I'm just gonna do this. Drop it down the bottom and then just reel it up like an inch or 2. Okay, there we go. And I'll leave the drag pretty loose. Okay, first drop. Just had a decent mark on the sonar, seems to have gone away. Now I'm keeping a close eye on my set line. Might just wander over there, pick up that scent. First fish of the trip. Moved on to a new spot. Looks like there's a lot going on here in 119 feet of water. I added a piece of cut bait to my lure and they're still disinterested. Sometimes suspended fish like this, where they're just hanging out in the water column, not really moving up or down or moving off the screen, they can be just extremely uninterested. Seems to be the case right now. Dangling cut bait right in their faces.
For lunch today, we have steak, chili, and garlic bread. I put a little, that's hot of course, I put a little bit of water in the pot, just so that it doesn't burn on the bottom. this actually, it smells really good. Bread's toasted. Chili's heated. We're ready to have some lunch.
Cheers. The wind is up out there. It's not cold, but the wind is chilling, so this is a luxury to come back into this.
And I've just been relaxing in here all morning, reading my book. So
it's good life.
The whole morning's been a luxury.
I just got this little underwater fishing camera from Yo-Yo off of Amazon, and it's down over 30 feet deep right now. There's not nearly enough light, ambient light down there for filming, but it has little infrared lights on it, so it's lighting it up down there, and it's actually pretty awesome to look at. Even just the debris down there. I haven't even seen a fish yet. That would be really amazing, but just looking at all the debris, very interesting. These lights around the outside ring, they light it up down there. I think they're infrared. And yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. In fishing, and especially ice fishing, sometimes you'll smash your lure into the bottom and create a little sediment cloud which can attract fish. And here's what that looks like. Just fishing near camp today. We're a little out of the wind here behind this point, and the reality is there's only 8 or 8.5 hours of daylight at this time of year. If I walk to the other end of the lake, it takes me 30 minutes. It'll take me 30 minutes to walk back. That's an hour out of those brief 8 hours of daylight, and they go by in the blink of an eye. Our days have just been flying by. We can't believe tomorrow is our last day already. And if there's one thing I've learned as an angler, walking far away does not equate to catching fish. In fact, that's an hour out of my day where my line's not even in the water. So sometimes it's better to stay put and see if the fish come to you. The fishing's pretty boring today, so I'm just really enjoying watching things on the camera. I think a little sculpin just came along, which is a favorite food of lake trout. Now I just need the lake trout to come by, but anyway, I came shallow here in 6-7 feet of water just to get a better view of the camera and be able to see the bottom, be able to see my lure. And it's quite a lot of fun. Really a new dimension of ice fishing. Cool. Now there are a couple of minnows. Maybe shiners? It's hard to tell. It'd be interesting to see it when I get home. But this is actually a thrill. Recording fish is something like underwater, obviously, is something I've had an interest in for a long time. I've strongly considered getting an underwater drone. It's like a corded submarine, and you can control it through the cord, but they're expensive. I'd love for someone to send me one. I'd gladly show it off. But this is a start, and this is quite a lot of fun. It's also given me ideas as to what I should be fishing with. Like if I wanted to imitate a sculpin, that's probably my closest bet there, the Storm 360. And then if I want a shinier imitation, this Seville Vibrato is fantastic. Probably my favorite ice fishing lure. So that's useful information. It's also really interesting to see these fish coming to check out the silt cloud and watching my lure smash bottom. Like the techniques that I've always used from above the ice, I'm now getting to see them in live time. Like this really is a game changer. I've always wanted an underwater fishing camera, and it's well worth it for ice fishing. It's interesting, there's suddenly an explosion of snow fleas. They're all over. They make the snow look dirty, but then when you look at the snow more closely, it's full of little moving specks. Just retrieved my set line with this big piece of steak sitting on there. Fish steak. I think it's liver probably. And it's just untouched. So that's it. What you gonna do?
There you go.
That is a lot of penne.
That's a lot.
Probably didn't need to add that last bit.
No.
Oh well.
We're hungry.
Yeah. Bit of red wine.
Very
Pasta.
Lady and the Tramp vibes tonight.
Last night flew by. It's funny to think how much we intended on doing here, and the demands of winter just take up your entire short day. We wanted to build a Quincy. You were thinking of a polar plunge. Thought I'd have a lot more time for fishing. And other things. Chaga hunt. You never even went.
No, I didn't even go for a chaga hunt.
It's funny. The days are so short and there's so much to do.
Yeah. It's been
Especially, yeah, it's been very nice. Especially with no power tools.
Yeah.
No chainsaw, no snowmobile. It makes you appreciate how much energy your home produces.
Yes.
To heat water and heat your house. Like, it really puts it in perspective. It's an incredible amount. Today we're going to make ice cream from snow. I've got 4 cups of fresh fallen snow there, a can of condensed milk, need a tablespoon of vanilla, and 1/3 cup of sugar, which we're going to substitute these honey sticks with. Ooh. Interesting stuff. Might be a little on the cold side too. Need a teaspoon of vanilla. Mix it well, and we'll get the honey in there to mix as well. Okay, got that mixed up. Now I'm going to pour it into the snow. Mix it in there. Wow, that's a lot. Okay. Huh. Looking more like ice cream already. And then I'm going to let this sit for 30 minutes at least, out in the cold. and let it turn into ice cream. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes. It looks pretty ice creamy. A little soupy, but it's not that cold out today. It's probably just a few degrees below freezing, but it looks pretty good. See how it tastes. That's the important thing.
Excellent, thank you.
Let's see. Cheers. That's ice cream.
It's ice cream.
That is actually ice cream.
It's excellent.
Wow.
It's
I
a
was
lot of
kind of
ice cream.
skeptical. The honey's good in there too.
Yeah. Actually.
All we need now is a little bit of chocolate.
Gourmet.
That is good. We'll sprinkle the chocolate in there. Little crunchy bits of it.
Crunch it up.
Come back. Finishing our trip with ice cream. Pretty good way to end it. And finally caught the little vole that's been raiding our camp red-handed this morning. And funny enough, he wasn't raiding our food. He was just chewing on some lichen that was attached to some birch bark. Voles and moles get confused a lot. A mole looks very distinct. It's got kind of a pointy nose and it claws its way through. It's a weird looking animal. A vole looks closer to like a small hamster or mouse. And then there's a shrew, which is kind of mouse-like, but a longer pointy nose.
Which one doesn't have eyes?
Mole.
Okay.
Yeah. Almost done packing up. We sleep on the snow with foam pads. The foam pads provide a bit of insulation and, more importantly, protect our inflatable sleeping pads. And that's a good setup. The snow, people often ask, why don't you have a floor? Or they say, you're a fool, where's your floor? But a floor in here, all the snow would melt from the stove and then you just have a puddle in your floor. So this is actually much preferable. You can lay down boughs, but it's not necessary. We've got new bindings for the snowshoes this year. These are GV asymmetrical bindings. And Aaron got the regular symmetrical. It's nice because they just ratchet up instead of like a notching system like on a belt. Just find it's easier. Made it back to the car. I just wanted to mention we finally drilled some holes in the Pelican Trek 60 sleds. Aaron has 2 X bungees. I just have one X going from corner to corner. Works really well, really happy to have it. I know sometimes people wonder, how do you poop in the winter? You can't dig a cat hole because the ground's frozen solid. There are no thunder boxes out here where we camp. It's just bush camping. And the answer is, you go somewhere discreet and then your TP you burn. So it helps if you get like a little birch bark to do that, or you can even just use snow. It works. It's not pleasant, but it works. Before we pack up the stove, we got to clean out the pipes, which are full of creosote from burning softwood, especially not always at optimal temperatures. It can really build up the creosote. So I'm feeding it through and then just shaking all that stuff out. And I'm using spruce boughs. There's lots of balsam fir around here, but fir needles are soft. Spruce needles are pointy and bristly, so they make for a better brush. And I took this off a big tree, I don't want to take this off of a small tree and then potentially endanger it. So it's taking off a big tree, not hurting it. The tech on this trip is pretty out of control. We've got the ice fishing camera, the sonar, the 360 camera, the drone, 2 action cams, this camera, the Jackery power station, the heat gun, and some other ones I'm forgetting. But we brought a lot in. We wanted to be really comfortable for these 5 days, and we have been. Ah!